Hey, I'm Chef Tomaska here in Chicago, and today I'll be cooking with Dorasti caviar. Dorasti is one of my favorite purveyors of caviar. I'm super excited about working with the product today. So we are at home and not at the restaurant, so I thought it would be a great time to show you something super approachable, and it's one of my favorite pairings with caviar at home, potato chips. So my favorite flavor of potato chip is definitely salt and vinegar. So rather than frying our chip and then seasoning it with a spice mix at the end, I'm going to show you a fun, unique way of kind of layering flavor before the cooking process. So before we start, let's review of what ingredients we're going to need for today, and then we'll start cooking. Of course, we have our Dorasti caviar, looking beautiful as ever. Some Yukon potatoes, chives, creme fraiche, some lemon for zest and juice, as well as some black truffle that's going to kind of bring our potatoes to the next level. So okay, let's start. The first thing we're gonna cook today, or start processing and mise en place out, is our potato chip. So before we start slicing our potatoes for our chips, we're gonna want to make a solution or water bath of vinegar, salt, and water. So what we have here is equal parts water and vinegar, and about 3% of that weight is salt. So what this is going to do is flavor our potato chip. So I like to apply even but firm pressure when using a mandolin. It'll prevent you from cutting yourself. And add it to our water bath. We want to make sure the potatoes are submerged under the liquid for at least an hour or up to 4. So we just finished slicing our potatoes. We've put our pot of oil on the stove, and we're gonna wanna bring that up to just under 300 degrees. So while our oil's coming up to temperature, we're gonna wanna assemble our dip. So our dip's pretty straightforward. It's creme fraiche, some black truffle, chive, lemon juice, and zest. So we have our creme fraiche in our mixing bowl. We're gonna wanna start with some lemon zest. Just the zest of about a half a lemon. Some lemon juice. Be sure that there's no seeds. We're gonna add some chive to this. I like to roll my chives in a damp towel. This allows for you to keep them in a nice tight roll while you cut them. And last but not least, we're going to want to add our truffle in a generous amount. Last, we're adding our black truffle. And of course, some salt. We're going to refrigerate that until our potato chips are done. All right, so we have our truffle creme fraiche dip in the fridge, staying cold with our caviar. We've sliced our potatoes. Our oil has come up to temperature. So let's review some important things when it comes to frying. You're going to want to make sure our potatoes have been thoroughly dried before we fry them. We're going to want to make sure our oil stays at a constant 300 degrees. We're going to want to make sure we don't overcrowd our frying pan. And probably the most important part, we're going to want to make sure we have a place to land our potato chips once they come out of the fryer. This helps let the oil drain, and it's going to produce a nice crispy potato chip. As you can see, our potatoes starting to float. We're going to add a couple more. Be sure not to overcrowd the pan. Our potato chips are just about to come out of our fryer. Just another minute or so. It's really important that we have a place for our potato chips to land. I like to use a little tray with some paper towel below it to catch the oil. It allows our chips to stay nice and crispy. So it looks like they're just about done. We're going to want to let the excess oil drip from our spatula before we go on to our tray. And then another important part of this is fridge. We need to make sure that we season our chips right when they come out of the fryer. This allows our seasoning, our spice mix, if we had one, to stick to the chips. So our chips are done. We've made our dip. So let's see what we have for our spread. It's perfect for having friends over. It's the perfect pairing for caviar, in my opinion. You can't go wrong with potato chip and truffle and creme fraiche, excuse me. So we have our potato chips, our truffle sour cream, and our Dorasti caviar. It's the perfect pairing, in my opinion. Fried chips, some acidity from us brining the potatoes, our savory truffle creme fraiche, and of course, our caviar. The perfect bite. It was awesome cooking with Dorasti caviar today. We made our homemade potato chips, our truffle creme fraiche, and we paired that with our Dorasti caviar.